What's happening, everybody? Welcome to part 2 of Heihachi Character Guide. This video is all about combos. I always say I'm going to try to make these as short and simple as possible, and it never works out. But this time, I promise, every launcher that this character has can use the same combo path. Every one of them. You can start off every combo he does with Electric Wind God Fists. It doesn't even have to be electric. The regular Wind God Fist works just fine. You can do every combo with that. So this is going to be simple. There's only a couple exceptions, like the launcher that starts with an automatic tornado. That's it. The rest is pretty easy. So I'll show you the usual, what these opening moves are, what you can use to juggle, best enders, etc., and we'll go from there. But you really only have to learn like one basic combo set, and then you're good to go. So starting with launchers, they all have different properties, like some are crumple stuns and some are juggles or whatever. But like I said, they all start the same combo path. So first off is Electric Wind God Fist. This is your basic launcher and one of your big juggle tools. Does not matter if it's electric. The electric versions do the exact same thing. They just do like 3 more damage. Less if it scales, right? Middle of combo, it's scaling down. The combo damage is negligible. So you do get more damage for getting electrics right, but you don't have to. So in that case, you should just go for electrics whenever possible. Don't worry about it if you miss it. Forward 2, the Demon Uppercut. Nice big launcher. Very unsafe on block. It does go under stuff, but it's a little bit risky to use. When you're in warrior mode, though, it's safe. So it definitely has its applications there. Forward 3 is a mid launcher that's already safe. It's kind of short range, doesn't track very well. And when you're in warrior mode, this becomes plus on block. So it's kind of cool to be able to just do, you know, a plus frame natural launcher. Pretty cool there. And now he's got a full crouch down forward 2. He has a basic airborne launcher from crouch, which he hasn't had in forever. Like Tekken 7, they gave him that as a launcher, but it was slow. This is 15 frames and it launches from crouch. Heihachi just like never has that. Next up is the Hell Axle, a forward 3+4 or Wind God Stance 3+4, same thing. You'll notice these cause the aerial tail spinny thing on a standing opponent, which is kind of unique. I don't recall ever seeing that before, but that lets it be a launcher. Once they're up in the air, boom, you get a combo from that. Wind God Stance 2 is a version of the Electric Wind, but it's a little bit different. One, you can see this causes a tornado right away, and in combos already, it will cause a tornado. Whereas the regular Electric Wind God Fist, you can do over and over again in combos without having to worry about getting a tornado. They continue the juggle no matter what. So that was a little bit different, but it looks like the same move, just a different animation. That's just the version that comes out of Wind God Fist stance. That one's an automatic tornado launcher. Thunder God Stance now is a little bit different than it was. And your 2 attack is now a regular hit launcher. He used to have like an unblockable version and a counter hit version and stuff. This one now, boom, regular launcher, crumple stun, pick up, and all that. A new move they added to Hell Sweep is 3. This is the same thing. That causes a crumple stun, and you get a full launch on normal hit. Not quite sure what that's for. Hell Sweep has always represented a classic mix-up. You know, he might go mid, and you have to block that Thunder God Fist. Or he might go low again, and you get launched, right? So I don't see how you're going to get hit by a high if those were your situations already, right? In what circumstance would you be getting hit by a high attack there when you have a low launcher and another mid? I don't know. It exists. It's good for ending combos, but starting combos, it is there. It's just I'm not sure how often you're going to get that. So in addition to that, any second hit of a Hell Sweep. The first hit just causes one little trip like that, but a second consecutive hit will take them off their feet. Like that. They have to make that guess, right? If you get hit by the Hell Sweep and they guess mid, if they think you're going to do this and they block mid, then the second one will trip them like that, and you get a combo from it. So any second hit, that can be the second and the third one if you want. Doesn't have to be the first hit. See, same thing. Second hit goes. So that's normal hit. Doesn't have to be counter hit or anything. If they fail to make that block, they'll get launched by a second low Hell Sweep. But that's it for normal hit. Counter hits are pretty simple as well. Heihachi technically has a Magic 4. In a game that got rid of Magic 4s, this is one. It's just a 4 button and you get a whole combo from it. But it's 15 frames, which is slower than the typical Magic 4s used to be. Still a decent move. It's not great. It's fine. 1, 2, 4, the string version gets you the same thing. That counter hit, also a combo. Back 4, however, is the one you want to look out for. This move is great. causes chip damage on block, causes knockdown on regular hit, counter hit, you get this great big crumple stuff. All kind of good stuff from that. Back four is one of your go-to. Just don't miss. Look at the recovery off of that. Wow, that's a bad one. But the combo you get from it is a nice, big, beefy crumple stun. There's a couple of strings with counter hits built into them. Down forward 4-2, bop. Nice, heavy crumple stun. And back 3-2, bop. There it is again. You notice these crumple go different directions. Sometimes they go forward and backwards. That usually matters. It matters a little bit. There are some things you could do with it, but like I said, Electric Wind God Fist works on either one of them. Doesn't matter which one you do. Back 3-2. Electric Wind God Fist into combo. That always works. And last counter hit is any individual hit of Hell Sweep. Just like the second consecutive hit will trip them off their feet, any hit on counter hit does the same thing. You get a combo off of that. So that's a lot to think about. The Hell Sweeps are a lot of decision making packed into it, but just be aware of how the combos work. If you catch them on a counter hit, you get it, or if they make the bad block on the second one, you get your whole combo from. So there's all of those. Heat mode introduces some extra launchers by way of your heat engagers, which are up forward 2-1. Right, you get combos from that, and your forward 1+2. This new move, which is pretty cool. So that's a really, really fast move, safe on block mid. It's a great tool, and you get full combo from it. So because of those, when you're in heat mode, those become launchers by holding forward. You also get launchers from all of these hit stun moves, like Chrome Dome. Forward 1+2, because that's technically +14. You can hit that. That is technically guaranteed. It's just really, really hard to do. You're going to get that most of the time if you're doing it too early. There it is. That's one that says 2-hit combo. That's guaranteed. So you get a launcher, a scaled heat mode launcher, but you get a launcher from your 12-frame punish when you're in heat mode. So that's a big deal. And that applies to all the other ones as well. Your counter hit while standing too. So he blocks if you're a little bit late. It's kind of hard to do, but it's there. And as well as your forward 4 versus a crouching opponent. All of those are +14. So when you have a +14, you can technically do that if you're fast enough. And you get a whole combo from there when you're in heat mode. If you're in Warrior Instinct mode, then down forward 2-1 now becomes a launcher as well, an automatic tornado. This is being 13 frames, means you can also do it from the same set of moves we just talked about. Chrome Dome, bang, guaranteed. Whole combo from there. So counter hit while standing 2, and then forward 4 versus the crouching opponent. That hit stun allows you to connect these for a combo when you're in heat mode, or you're in Warrior Instinct. So those are kind of interesting, right? When you're in heat mode, you technically can start launching people at 12 frames. And in Warrior Instinct mode, you can launch people at 13 much more easily. So very, very dangerous. He doesn't need a ton of other launchers. That's it. He covers the basics and some godlike stuff when he gets powered up. So as mentioned, every combo can be done from the exact same combo path, which is pretty handy. You could technically memorize like one combo and be good to go. But I still want to go over the pieces and how they work, because there are some flexibilities in there and some things that you can do that are easier, some things that are more damage but harder. So we're going to take the same approach to that, but you're really going to see, oh yeah, this one I like, just do that one and you're good to go. You do not need to remember extra combos. So usually I want to talk about openers. The first hit of the combo once you've hit them with the launcher. Say, for example, that one bounces up in the air, but that one is a crumple stun, right? That's usually what determines your opener. Sometimes you have to use blank move to pick up that blank stun. Heihachi does not. Every single one he has, Electric Wind God Fist works. Does not have to be electric. You get more damage if it is, but it does not have to be. So go for Electric Wind God Fist pretty much every time. You don't have to worry about anything else. However, the moves, the launchers that were written in green, those ones do let you do this, an up forward 4 kick, which is kind of stylish. I always like that move. Back in, Tekken 7, I realized you could do it off of this. That was very cool. I like that move a lot. And it works the same way as you're going to get here. You still get the same combo from it. It's much easier than Electric Wind God Fist, but it is like 5 less damage. Having said that, if you still go for electric and you fail and just get regular Wind God Fist, that's still more damage than up forward 4 is, right? You can see that was 35. That's still only 32. So you're still better off to go for electric and fail, but that's there, right? If you feel like it, you can just go for this thing and it's pretty easy and stylish. So that's available to all the launchers written in green. The only other one that I want to mention is the perfect back 2. When you hold back 2 to the exact right amount there, that little white flash, that causes the tail spinny effect. and it does a lot of damage. So there's 2 launchers that you could start off with that, like that, which is very, very good. That does the same damage as doing electric. So that's still a little bit easier. You could do that launcher, an electric when God Fist there, or you could do that and perfect back 2, you get the same combo. So those are your openers. Again, electric when God Fist is all you need. You can leave it at that and be done. But those are some other style points you want to go for. They're available. So as far as the juggles go, what do you do to keep them in the air? Heihachi's always had forward 3. Forward 3 has always been an excellent go-to. Works on everything, hits low to the ground. But now we have the stance. So now we have forward 3, stance 1. Forward 3, stance 1. You're going to want to practice the hell out of this. Just in general, if we're playing Heihachi, you need to learn how to use the stances. When you just tap down, he goes into Wood God stance. In the main video, we talked about doing that to cancel into block. So once you're in the stance, you can go into crouch dash. So you could go stance, crouch dash, block. And you got to learn how to do that kind of quick. You know, it just looks like that. But the simplest version of the combo here, you just have forward 3, stance 1. So you just tap forward 3 and tap down, and then press 1. Forward 3, stance 1. Forward 3, stance 1. Practice this. It's really good. You're going to learn that rhythm. Forward 3, stance 1. Forward 3, stance 1. Next up is back 3-2. I just like the string because it's a nice chunk of damage. Has a little bit of weird timing in some cases, and you're not going to see it a lot in what we go on from here, but I want you to remember that because it's just kind of a nice little string for some quick damage. Flashy Heihachi combos would start doing hell sweeps back in the day. That's not easy to do. To hit an opponent in the air and land in a hell sweep before they reach the ground, you got to be kind of good at this, right? You got to be at least experienced in Mishima, wave dash, stuff like that. So that's there. Very cool, but we can do even better. Put all these pieces together. Forward 3 stance, right? Forward 3 stance, and then when you press down forward, you get crouch dash. So you could technically do forward 3 stance, hell sweep 1, which is what we're going to do. This is going to take some more practice, for sure. You tap forward, you press forward 3 for your juggle, and then you just tap down, right? You go into the stance. As soon as you tap down, you want to start holding down 4. And the instant Heihachi's ready, you want to start mashing out 4. Like you're just holding it, and there you go. You got to learn that timing. You got to learn how long it takes him to go from the stance into the crouch dash, right? You can see that. There's that like blue hitboxy thing in practice mode where it shows you like recovery. You turn that on if you want. I feel like you just kind of feel it out, right? If you're getting good at it, you should not see any crouch dash. You'll see him go from stance right into hell sweep once you've practiced it. So forward 3. See, I still kind of miss it. Forward 3 into crouch dash 4-4-1. You're going to see that a lot. That's going to be called the red sequence later on. It's written in red everywhere in the Google Doc. We'll call that the red sequence because you're going to do that basically everywhere you can. It's going to give you the max damage. I mean, you could do multiple electric stuff, and, you know, get tons of combo damage. But doing that is pretty much going to give you the best option. It's way easier to do than that. You're going to get the same damage. So learning that is pretty good. That's an excellent option. That's pretty much all you're going to need for combo extenders. The forward 3, stance 1, forward 3, stance 1, practice it, and then the hell sweep. Hell sweep 1 is key, and the fact that you can do it out of a forward 3 is super clutch. You like that a lot. As far as your tornado goes, there's 4 for 1 hit. You're pretty much not going to use that outside of the wall. We're just never going to come up. Back 1-4 is kind of cool. This is pretty solid damage and only 2 hits. That one you'll find some places for sure. If you have like a panic combo, you weren't sure what to do, you know, like, oh, just back 1-4 and there it is, right? That's nice and reliable. And the last one is we talked about forward 3, stance 1, forward 3, stance 1, forward 3, stance 2 is going to be your tornado. Bang. Because the Wind God Fist version that comes out of that is a tornado no matter what. So some of your combos could look like this. Forward 3, stance 1, forward 3, stance 2. Got that nice little rhythm to it. Once you start to see and hear Heihachi in that rhythm, it kind of starts to click. So those are your pieces. All of those are going to come together in various combos. The forward 3, stance 2, we're going to refer to as the blue sequence. That is your blue tornado. And the forward 3 into hell sweep, we're going to call that the red one. Those are you're going to use more than anything else. So as far as ending your combo, that's going to depend on how many hits you've used. Like anybody else, there's a limit. They're going to get too far away from you. You can't get 12, 13, 14 hits, even if you wanted to. You're going to end up at about 9, 10 if you could really stretch it out. So the longest combos are going to basically be about 7. If you put it all together, right, that whole sequence. Oh, that was 8, counting your launcher itself. That's pretty much the longest combo you're going to get. The opener, Electric Wind God Fist, red sequence, blue sequence. So with that many hits, you've only got 2 left at the end. Your choices to do the most damage without anything else are going to be sidestep 2 into Thunder God 1. You have to dash up and just take a little tiny sidestep to your right. A little sidestep is all you need. But when you do sidestep 2 and you hold forward, he goes into Thunder God stance. And you do Thunder God 1. So again, that's just all that is this. Sidestep 2, Thunder God 1. You just hold forward the whole time. Dash up, sidestep 2, Thunder God 1. That does your best damage and it looks awesome as hell. $81 damage off of that. It looks cool. Your alternative for 2 hits, which is a little harder to do, but you know, there's a lot of options. You're going to use your spinny stuff. Perfect back 2, charged up, and then your quarter circle 2, Iron Palm. That looks cool as hell too, in my opinion. A little less damage. It's going to be 2 less damage doing it that way. But that's 2 hits. You only got 2 hits left. That's where you go to. So those are both your choices. If you have a slightly shorter combo, you can squeeze 3 hits out of there. And since we talked about how back 2 causes the aerial spinny thing, remember, up, forward, 3, 4 also causes the aerial spinny thing. And you can Iron Palm. Same thing. Spinny thing, Iron Palm. So that's one of your 3-hit enders. You could also switch it the other way. You could do your same back 2, spinny thing, and then do up, forward, 2, 1 to hit after that during the spinny thing. So you're basically just rearranging the hits wherever you got them. You're using your aerial spin mechanic and squeezing in however many hits. If you only got 2 hits, then you do the 1-hit spin and the 1-hit follow-up. If you got 3 hits, you could do the 2-hit spin and a 1-hit follow-up, or vice versa. And naturally, that leads us to 4 hits. If you have a combo that's only 4 or 5 hits in your juggle, you can put both of these into play. Up, forward, 3, 4. Up, forward, 2, 1. There you go. Nice and easy. Looks cool as hell. Nice and easy. You're not going to see that, though, because you're generally going to do longer combos. But if you panicked, right, if you just, like, caught your opponent in midair or something, you weren't sure, you're like, oh, shit, there they are, jab, and then just did this. Yeah, that's an option. Forward, 3, 4. Forward, 2, 1. There you go. That's your 4-hit ender. Some other things to end combos with would be hell sweep options. Like, hell sweeps into 3 are really good for wall carry. Depending on how many hits you got left, you can sometimes just do 1 if you need it. Right? Or you could do up to 2. So you got to work on your distance and learn where your walls are and stuff. But hell sweep 3 is nice for wall carry. Pretty good stuff there. You might also see 1 back to 4. I always tried to end combos with this wherever possible. I think that's an awesome move. And you're basically going to see it in the automatic tailspin. Right, there's that sequence. That only works if you got so many hits left. So you can't do that whole ass combo, the red sequence, blue sequence, blah, 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 and then get that. You need a shorter version. So 1 back to 4 does show up here and there. That's pretty nice. I always like that one myself. If you're in Warrior Instinct mode, 1 back to 2 becomes an option because that gains a cool new property. That causes the spike into the ground. That chromatic aberration effect deletes their gray health, and you get another hit. So if you've activated Warrior Instinct, any of those situations, 1 back to 2 is a great ender to have. You can do stomps and all that good stuff from there. So you got to remember that one if and when that ever occurs. And the other situation to be aware of is what can you do with your heat. You generally don't want to activate your heat and spend it in a combo unless you know it kills. It's just not worth it. However, combos are a good way to activate heat and go on about your business. So you can do that with your spinning. That's a good opportunity to do it. So if you just run up and do the perfect back 2, heat burst right there. That's a good opportunity. You can do your whole ass combo and it still works. That's got enough range to reach after like the 9-hit combo and then activate it there. So this does 2 things. The heat burst itself does not count against your juggle counter. So it doesn't cost you one of your precious hits, right? We talked about if you have a 5 or 6 or 7 hit combo or whatever, you only have a 2 or 3 or 4 hit ender. The heat burst itself does not change that. But you'll notice I did use a back 2 leading into it. I did the tailspin, or I did the tornado, and then I did a charged up back 2 into that. That does count as a hit. However, the heat burst, pounding them into the ground right there, usually makes up for that. And it keeps them close enough that whatever ender you were going to do otherwise will still work, thus letting you steal a hit. See, that still reaches. It's actually an extra hit. You stole a hit because of the way the heat burst thing works, which is very cool. So now at the end of this, you got heat mode activated. You get extra damage. You get about the same damage, honestly. But you've got heat mode ready for the rest of the round. So combos are a pretty good way to go into it. You wouldn't really want to end it unless you know it kills. All you do in that situation is you do the same charged up back 2. You do your heat burst. And then you can do like that. You can do Iron Palm and heat dash it. Again, your scaling is one thing. So this does a little bit more damage than your normal combo, but not by a lot. If you think it kills, go for it. Otherwise, you just want to do your back 2 and the heat burst and do your normal ender. Go about your day with your heat. I know that's a lot of explanation for a tiny little thing, but it's definitely worth considering. Once you're comfortable with all of your combos, like, okay, I'm going to do my 2-hit or my 3-hit ender there, then you start worrying about, hey, I might as well pop heat mode. Real quick, back 2 there, pop my heat mode and go about my same ender like I was going to, and then you're ready to go. That's just kind of like a comfort and experience thing, is learning to be aware of your heat and, oh yeah, there's a good place to use it. That's part of doing that, is how to execute it. It's right there for you. Any combo you want, good place to do it. So those are all of your combo starters and your side dishes. Let's take a look at them all together. And like I said, you could do the same combo for everything. So this part is nice and easy from here. All of your launchers, everyone that we talked about, could all do this same path. The only exceptions are the Hell Axle, technically, because that's 2 hits. So all you're going to do is skip the opening electric, and then the rest of it's identical. And the automatic tailspin. That's going to be a little bit different that we'll cover, but the rest of it are exactly the same. So when you look at the Google Doc, it'll have a list of all of the launchers, your full crouch down forward 2, you know, your crumple stun from Thunder God 2, all that. They're all listed in there. The ones in green, instead of having to do electric, you could do the same thing, and you can do up forward 4. Again, that works nice and easy, but it does less damage. And there's 2 that are marked with the asterisks, where you can do a perfect back 2 as your opening hit. Electric still works there too. You can do electric just as well. Right? That's there. But perfect back 2 is an option. That only applies to the 2 launchers written with the asterisks, which are counter hit on back 4 and the counter hit of back 3-2. Those 2 crumple stuns are the only ones you can do that. Otherwise, everything else starts with electric. You land a launcher, you do an electric. That's all you need to worry about. Doesn't matter if you fail it, it's just fine. Regular Wind God Fist, just fine. So that's your first hit. Then after that, we're going to look at a couple of segments. Some easy ones and then the cool-ass hard one. I told you to work on stance 3, or forward 3, stance 1. So we're going to do that. Electric, forward 3, stance 1. Back 1, 4. There you go. There's your tornado, and you're already up to 60 damage. Because that is only using 6 hits, we have 9 total available. We can use a 3-hit launcher there. Back 4. Boom, boom. Just like that. And again, that ender is interchangeable. You could do the Hell Axle into the Iron Palm for your 3-hit ender. Same thing. That one does 2 more damage. So that's kind of a nice, simple, easy combo, right? There's nothing too hard there. Forward 3, stance 1. Back 1, 4 for your tornado. That's it. Pretty simple. We could switch it up a little bit, use some other parts. How about electric? And do back 3, 2. This one's a little bit trickier because you do have to get the electric nice and high for that to land. And then we could do forward 3, stance 2. The blue sequence for your tornado, right? So we could just kind of mix them up. Do forward 3, stance 1, and then a different tornado, or do a different opener, and then forward 3, stance 2. Same thing. The 3-hit enders are applicable there. There you go. Same 3-hit ender. A little bit more damage that time. So that uses a bit of your tools, the forward 3, stance 1 that I imparted upon you. And the second one uses your forward 3 stance 2 is your tornado. Let's do the final part, which is the red sequence that we mentioned before. Start with the electric, do the forward 3 hell sweep combo, and then forward 3 stance 2. That's the red sequence of the blue sequence. That's it. The red sequence is forward 3 into hell sweep stuff, and the blue sequence is forward 3 into tornado. So when you see that written as just red sequence, blue sequence, I think that kind of helps you remember it. But you do have to practice those. You have to practice what the red sequence is. You got to be good at getting that. Getting that timing just right there. You can see I skipped the first hit. It doesn't even make a difference. You do whatever you want. Forward 3 and tap down. That's the first step. And as soon as you've done that, you want to start holding down forward. And you anticipate him making that crouch dash right there. Anticipate that. And as soon as you see that, you can start mashing out your 4s for your hell sweep. 4, 4, 1, and then the 2 bar. Since that only has 2 hits left, you got to do that other ender. Boom, there you go. 81 damage, just like that. That's your 2-hit ender. Either 2-hit ender works just fine, but that's all you got. Or you could do a perfect back 2, activate heat burst, and then do your 2-hit ender. That works just as well. You're going to get like 85 damage from doing that, which is crazy. But if you look at the Google Doc, it has all the launchers listed. It shows you how much extra damage. If you got a counter hit on back 4 to start that combo, you're going to get like 90 plus. 94. 94 off that basic combo with no resources. By learning the red sequence and the blue sequence. That's it. So we can pretty much call it right there. That's all you need to know. But, like I mentioned, you had some other options. You had the green launchers, which are capable of doing this in the different sequences. That's cool. That's convenient. If you want to learn that, learn that. But the rest is the same. You could pick any of those combos you want that we talked about or make up your own. You could keep it super simple and just do, like, forward 3, back 1, 4, right? That's easy. Take your pick. So look at the tools and the pieces we put together. Find one you like. But red sequence, blue sequence is stylish as hell and just does insane damage. So the exception we talked about is Hell Axle, because that's already 2 hits. You just don't do the electric. Just skip the electric. The rest of it's exactly the same. Here's the first one. Right? Forward 3 stance 1, back 4. We could jump right into Hell Axle and then do red sequence, blue sequence. Right? Those are pretty much your choices, right? I can't recommend too many other things. If your comfort level says I like this one, others always go for it. I think red sequence, blue sequence, or forward 3, 1, back 1, 4. Those are your go-tos. So you just skip the electric when you do it off a Hell Axle. You can do a little variation from your Hell Sweeps. I talked about in the main video how a good option is to just do Hell Sweep into while standing, because you don't have to risk going for a mix-up if you don't want to. If they block low, you get some free damage. You're putting nothing on the table. And if you've got the counter hit, it preserves your combo. Like that, right? Basically, think of that while standing 4 hit there. That was your electric. So just skip that part and do the exact same thing, right? Counter hit. Red sequence. Blue sequence. There it is. That's kind of the only exception. And it doesn't have to be the counter hit. You could do the 2 consecutive hits. Low hell sweep, low hell sweep, then while standing. That works too. Because it's basically the same property, right? Counter hit on a single hit or 2 consecutive hits of hell sweep do the exact same thing. You could do a single while standing 4 out of that, and you do the same combo pass. That just takes the place of your electric. So the real exception to the rule is what you do from the tornado. When God Stance 2 causes an automatic tornado. So pretty much everything we did is out the window as far as the perfect sequence, but we can use the same tools, right? So the easiest, quickest thing to learn, in my opinion, was to just do hell sweeps. There's your 1, back 2, 4 that we talked about. 1, back 2, 4. 58, that's not bad. No, take it. Good enough for me. We can do a little bit better each time. There's a lot of other things you could do. Because this is causing your tornado right away, up forward 3, 4 is now an option. You get the little spinny thing from there. So we could do a modified version of the red sequence that looks like this. And end it with the 3 kick instead. The reason we do that is because you're probably too far away for the 1 to work. The 1 is pretty short compared to the Hell Sweep 3. So you switch that up. But that's the same thing as forward 3 into Hell Sweeps. That's basically the red sequence. You're just swapping out the ender. So that's a little bit more damage. And again, since it's causing our tornado, we have a chance to do a perfect back 2, which is also very nice. That's a nice little bit more damage. It's like 5 extra damage. So you can do the back two, the perfect back two for the spinny attack, and you have to do a dash electric. You'll notice you're kind of far away there. Your one regular wind god fist is not going to reach. You have to dash up. But that's a basic Heihachi thing you want to learn. So the perfect back two, dash electric, and then your red sequence, but you end it with the 3. That's exactly the same thing. And the last one I want to talk about is a little bit of both, which is your charged up back two, then the raw hell sweeps, 1 back 2 4. So it's like the first one we talked about, right? Was just do the tornado and then just do hell sweeps into 1 back 2 4. If you do a back 2 and then do the exact same thing, it's 10 more damage. So if you're going to learn all of these things and you get comfortable with doing them, it gets really easy once you see, oh, I might as well just do that, right? I'm getting really good at doing back 2s in the middle of combos. Might as well just work on that. Do a back 2 and then do hell sweeps. That'll give you practice at doing both. Being able to just do a hell sweep in the middle of a combo, pretty good skill, right? You don't want to like have to take all day and do these long ass crouch dashes. That's the thing that'll help you practice doing these moves nice and tight and compact. So that's kind of one of the advanced combos you're gonna need. You're all need some practice in a lot of these, right? I'm not gonna lie and say that these are all easy, but they're not that bad. Once you practice the mechanism involved, the stance and the cancel and all that, it becomes pretty natural. There's 2 basic forms of your wall combo, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to do the same stuff. Whether your feet are on the ground and you get this kind of wall splat, or they hit the wall in midair from a combo and you get that kind of wall splat, it really doesn't matter. We're going to do the same stuff in there. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use 1+2 to smack them to the wall like that. Basically, everything I'm going to talk about is going to apply in every situation. You're not going to be any different. The way the mechanics work, it's going to even it out. Every time you do like this screw attack, that's going to level the playing field, so to speak. It's not going to matter where they hit the wall at that point. That's all that matters. We still have a hit counter. When you get to the wall, it has its own unique juggle counter. You can only do so many hits before they fall to the ground. You can't just continue to just plow into them all day with whatever you want, right? There is a limit here. So for starters, let's say you just got to the wall with a combo. You know, they hit the wall way up there. What do you do to finish it? I'm going to simulate that again with 1+2. So the first thing, 1 back 2 1. I always like this. I like this in Tekken 4 when you had those uphill combos where you could do cool stuff you couldn't otherwise. I think 1 back 2 1 is pretty cool. Because we've seen it everywhere else, we've seen 1 back 2 4 out of the open for combos. And we've seen 1 back 2 2 for Warrior Instinct and the Spike. 1 back 2 1 also has a purpose, just as a basic wall combo. It's actually not that much damage, to be honest, so we can do a lot better. Next up, Heihachi veterans will recognize single hell sweep, single while standing, and a demon breath. 1 hell sweep, and 1 while standing 4, and then 1+2. That still works. Bang, nice damage. But it was also quickly replaced by a new move in Tekken 7, which was back 3-2, demon breath. Even easier to do, you don't have to bother with a crouch dash. Once you get the splat, back 3-2, 1+2, and you're done. Another completely new move he has, which is going to be your go-to for the most part, it's got a cool name. Gokotai Rampage. That's the string. Down forward 3, 1+2, 1. Now you see the note, you have quarter circle 1 right there. You get a little blue spark effect when you do it just right. So normally it just looks like this. You get the electric sparkle and stuff at all the end too. But if you do the quarter circle 1, see some blue sparks come out and you get extra bonus damage from it. So it's definitely worth learning how to do that. It's not hard. You do down forward 3, 1+2, right? And you get that. As soon as he's doing that, just do quarter circle 1 the same way you do quarter circle 2. It's exactly the same thing, right? Basically his other hand. You get the same punch out of it. And if you miss, it's fine. It still works. You just don't get the bonus damage. So definitely worth learning how to do that. That's a go-to 15 frame punisher for lots of stuff. Cool. You know, it's a pretty neat move. Bang, bang, bang. The nice thing is that last hit does the damage scaling thing. When done correctly, you get like extra damage because of the way that move hits them on the ground. But anyway, Gokotai Rampage is a pretty cool combo ender. If you want to break the wall, you have quarter circle 2 by itself, or you could do up forward 2-1. Coincidence is they're both your good heat engagers, and they're both your big knockdowns, I guess. That's why they pick most heat engager moves were a pretty like big knockdown move. So if you need to break the wall, bang, bang, that's your good choice. If you want to break the floor, back 3-3 is your go-to. Good choice all around. Pretty reliable, quick. You don't have to time it special. Great. If you're in heat mode, you can also do a forward 4-1 to break the floor, which is pretty nice. It's a great move to be using all around, so you get style points for if you have that opportunity. If you're in heat mode, you get to the wall combo and you're ready to go for it, right? You've been building up to this the whole time. All the cool things he can do in heat and Ultimate Warrior mode, you definitely want to remember to pop them out whenever the time comes. So those are what happens when you get a high wall splat at the end of a combo. And you've already used up your tornado, you've already used everything else. What if you still have your tornado available? When they hit that wall splat, again, which I'm going to just do with 1+2, you can still do your tornado here. So your choices for one hit are just 4. Nice and easy. Forward 2 does the same damage. You get a little bit of sideways action there, as you can see. He kind of like tends to pivot a little bit if you get your dash in there. Unless it's like perfect. It's not a big deal. They do this. That does 1 extra damage, but the hard one to do, crouch dash 3. This is a little bit tricky. You got to hit that just right, but it's pretty good damage. It's like 5 extra damage if you can learn how to do that. If you don't have the time to do it, that's fair. 4 is nice and reliable. And you can also do this in heat mode, which is the pump, that single ground pound, down back 1+2. But I don't recommend wasting heat meter on doing that. If you've got heat mode active already when you get to the wall, save it for just a second later. Don't waste your time with that. Just stick to 4, for example, and I think you'll be good. So those are one-hit tornadoes. If you're doing one-hit tornado, you can do pretty much everything that we talked about up above. There's tornado, 1, back 2, 1. There you go. That still works. You can do both the Hell Sweep. The Hell Sweep and the Demon Breath, or you can do the back 3-2. Back 3-2, Demon Breath, bang. Or Gokotai Rampage. Pop. Gokotai Rampage. That does the most damage because of the scaling. That last hit always scales at 50%, as you can see, because it hits them in the ground in just the right way. Wall Splat, Tornado, Gokotai Rampage. Boom, there you go. So 2-hit tornadoes now change it up a little bit. You get more damage from your tornado attack, but you cannot do the same things that you just did. Your 2 hits are down forward 1, 2, but it has to be perfect. You have to hold in the 2 to the perfect amount. If you don't get it right, that does nothing. Or if you hold it too long, it misses. So you have to do this one perfect, which is a skill you're going to have playing Heihachi anyway. But you don't have to rely on that. You could easily just do back 1-4. Back 1-4 is more damage. Right? It's there. There's no reason almost not to use it, basically. Wall Splat, back 1-4. 2-hit tornado. So if you notice, I go for the normal attack, 1, back 2, 1. Doesn't work anymore. He tech rolls out of it. So that's out of the question. Pretty much everything else is out of the question. Even if I do this and I do back 3-2, so many hits, it doesn't work anymore. So your only choice left after a 2-hit tornado attack, Gokotai Rampage. There you go. Boom. 64 damage. Both of your floor breaks and your balcony breaks are going to work off the 2-hit as well. So you could do back 1-4 and still get your back 3-3 to break the wall that way. So it's pretty much just what's a comfort issue for you, right? If your muscle memory is somehow trained to, as soon as you see that wall splat, do back 1-4, then Gokotai Rampage is your only choice. You don't have to worry about it. But if for whatever reason, you know what, I bet I could do this a different way, or you like want to break the wall and you have hits left over, stick to a 1-hit. Doesn't really matter though. You can see the numbers are almost identical. I'm just using 1+2 every time so you can see that. The damage is written in the Google Doc. It's trivial. It's a really trivial amount of damage. If you do a 1-hit tornado and a long ender or a 2-hit tornado and a short ender, doesn't make any difference. The other thing that is worth a difference is using your resources in Warrior Instinct. When you're in Warrior Instinct, we talked about 1 back 2-2. 1 back 2-2 causes that and that free spike on the ground. That's what you want to do every time. If you've got Warrior Instinct, anytime you get near a combo, you do that. It can be out in the open. That works the exact same way. 1 back 2 causes the spike. It also works at the wall when you're here. So 1 back 2-2 gets you this. You get a stomp, or you get Omen Thunder, God Fist, whatever you want to do. Right, you got the electric Thunder God Fist is what it's called. Gotta be quick with that though. It's not easy. It's never been easy. Good old-fashioned get it stomped, pretty reliable, rarely misses. But once you get good at electric thunder, god fist and stuff, you can start throwing that in. Be warned, the axes can sometimes screw you off. If you're a little bit crooked there, you might not hit them all the time. Stomp is reliable. So that's a factor for all combos, to be honest, is the axes can cause misses sometimes. You can get forward 3, stance 2, could miss if you're a little bit off axis. Depends. But you really can't worry about that unless you have such a keen sense for it happening and just take out some extra hits, right? Just do a shorter combo. Otherwise, shit happens sometimes. Combos drop. But just be aware that the harder stuff can be prone to your axis, especially when there's like them on the ground and you're doing electric thunder god fist stuff. That can be a little bit finicky from time to time. So just be aware of that. But I think that's everything. That's your combo tools, your forward 3, your forward 3 stance 1, which is super important, your red sequence, which is forward 3, hell sweep, and then your forward 3 stance 2, which is your tornado. That's kind of all you need. Red sequence, blue sequence, and you're done. You just learn your enders from there. You have a 2-hit ender, a 3-hit ender, and a 4-hit ender. All those are in the dock, like we talked about. But if you're doing red sequence, blue sequence, you use the 2-hit ender every time. You start every combo with electric. You can do the same sequence in the middle, and you end with the same thing every time. Activate heat mode if you still got it. Use your perfect back 2. Activate heat mode, whatever. That's it. So it's really about being comfortable with a combo that you like. But trust me, once you get used to stance cancel mechanics for this character, the red sequence is going to come pretty easy. It's super flashy, does tons of damage. It's great all around. Some of the coolest stuff he has. So I highly recommend learning it. But if not, those other options are there. So if you got any concerns or comments or something like that, you need trouble or you need help with something you're having trouble with, let me know in the comments. I'd be glad to try. Any other ideas or ground roll hits that you thought of that like tech trap, whatever, stuff like that, post it down below. I'd love to hear it all. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow and all that stuff down below so you can be alerted for the next video. And I'll see you there. Later.